So guys, I want to thank you all for waiting patiently since I said I will postpone this chapter to today, Saturday, right after Hell's Paradise. And I'm going to tell you my thoughts, automatic thoughts after rereading the chapter. I'm pissed. You know why? Because it was so short. It was so short, okay? It felt really, really short. And I thought the chapter would have been in here, but we're actually, no, remember, we're still at volume 13. This starts at, actually, let me check real quick. So this is the Bunko volume, remember? At the end of the day, Bunko volume, so 2 in 1. Very small, actually, compared to a regular 2 in 1. This is volumes, this is actually volumes 13 and 14. So we're at the end, starting with chapter 107 of Katekyo Hitman REBORN. We are at the last chapter of volume 12. And this volume goes from chapters 108. I got y'all right now. You know what? We just go from the beginning. That's what they tell you, the index, right? So this volume 7 or volumes 13 and 14 consists of all the volumes of chapter 108 to 125. Okay? Just quite literally, if you guys can see it, that much. Yep. Just that much. And that's how it's looking. My bad. Yeah, so I would have shown you how chapter 108 would look like if you already read the manga, you would know, but oh god. Oh, I'm sorry. I should be talking about chapter 107. Oh, this looks even more crisp. Oh my god. This even looks more crisp than the online version. Oh. I'm sorry. I just okay. Gonna keep this here till chapter 125. Will I buy volume 8 of this? I'll let you know the closer we are, okay? But to go back from chapter 106, we got ready to start with the match of Takashi Yamamoto versus Squalo Superbi, and this chapter is literally the start of their match, because the way chapter 106 ended, we had where Yamamoto was still contemplating how this whole match is going to go. Of course, Suna's dad did tell his father about saying there is some sword match with a really a master, swords master, right? Squalo is a swords master, and they did give background information about him and how strong he is, because he knew Dino back in the day, around the same ages as Suna and the others, and how originally he was actually meant to be the next boss of the Varia, because he defeated the previous one, Tri, before Zanzus came in. So that's where it's muddled for Dino, because even Dino himself explained, I don't even know how Zanzus became the boss. Now, I know some people may have speculations that probably through connections, and because he's the son of the 9th, Vongola 9th, he probably got that position or something, but who knows. But truth be told, the real boss or potential boss was supposed to be Squalo, and for good reasons, because this guy is ridiculously strong, okay? And he did not defeat hundreds of different sword users or masters to get into the position that he is in today, right? So they reach the school, and it's Suna, Yamamoto, Reborn and Ryohei. Gokudera is nowhere in sight at the end of chapter 106, but in this chapter, it continues on, and obviously, surprisingly, Suna isn't as worried when it comes to Yamamoto because of how Yamamoto is. Like, this guy is not just being carefree, but it's also that confidence he has in himself, especially when his own father said that the Shigure Soin is invincible, the strongest, and undefeatable. Okay, perfect, right? So when they reach the school, Squallow comes as well as the Cervello, and they're saying that the event, the match now, is in the school building. So all the matches are going to be in the school, but different parts of the school. So they're telling them that for Squallow and Yamamoto's match, it's going to be in the school's building B. We don't know, but we clearly see them going, right? So everybody has to make their way going there. Hold on 1 second. Got something in my eye. So while everybody's preparing to go, we see where Ryohei comes. Actually, my bad. I said he came. He comes into this chapter and he's with someone that's wrapped up in bandages. Like, you don't know who this individual is until they start pulling the bandages apart, and then you realize it's Gokudera. Now, Gokudera should have been resting after his match with Belbafor, which he lost, but no. He wanted to go, and Ryohei found out, so he's like, okay, I'm gonna drag you here with us. Of course, the only one who's injured and still staying out is Lambo, okay? So they're all making their way to building B, okay, to start the match with Squallow and Yamamoto. So by the time they reach there, they realize how different it is. Each match is catered to the person's type of ring, okay? So in this case scenario, by the time they reach building B, they realize, first off, the windows are sealed off, the doors are sealed with a freaking X, and they're like, what? This was like, you're about to do some type of spy mission or something. Like, how the heck are they going to be able to get out of there? So they're going through one of the exit doors, and when they go in, Hibari is going to have a field day with some people. Bro, even if you weren't someone that loves your school as much as Hibari, just to find out, imagine if you're the principal coming in on Monday morning the following week to see the whole floors are damaged. Okay, they're breaking apart. Like, it looks like a cave. That's what it looks like, and water just running down. It looks like an abandoned building with the floors collapsed, the eroding, the walls are eroding, they chipped away, water is all over the ground, rubble is all over the ground with the water submerging them, and it's just like, it looks horrible. Out all the matches we've seen so far in terms of location, Yamamoto and Squallow's match looks the worst. Okay, and mind you, they didn't even start the match. They purposely destroyed the school to make it replicate Rain, right? So they say the battlefield for the Battle of Rain is called Aquarion, aqua, water, right? So they're saying the special features consist of like a 3-dimensional structure and a large amount of water cascading through an enclosed space. So they're saying that like the water flowing from the tank on the top floor will deepen from the first floor because the fight is going to start on the first floor. So think of the equivalent of like a sinking ship. Water starts rising from the bottom and then it keeps going, and with the water coming from the top, it just keeps coming till basically they're submerged. Both of them are submerged in water, right? And as the fight is going on, the more the water level will rise. So they're saying, furthermore, the collecting water has been specially modified to match the consistency of seawater. When the water level reaches a predetermined height, a ferocious sea beast will be released into the arena. There are a lot of ferocious sea beasts in the world. Okay? So they're basically saying, okay, from the first floor and then from the top floor with the water coming down, I can assume by the time it hits the second floor, close to the third, and the longer their fight keeps going on, that's when it's like, okay, now we can unleash this freaking creature. And that creature, just like thinking along the lines of like Gokudera's fight, where they had like only 15 minutes, and surprisingly this fight has no time limit compared to the previous match, which is Gokudera's. But like, they had something there that if they don't finish off the fight soon enough, that same thing, aka the whip turbines, was going to go off. So in this case, the scenario for Yamamoto and Squallow, the more they fight, the more they can either die by suffocation, losing of air to the water, or whatever creature is in the water that can come and kill them, aka probably eat them, suffocate them, whatever. Okay, so they can die either way, which I think is by far the worst compared to all the other matches that we've seen before. Okay, so since there's no time limit, the longer they fight, the more likely chances they are not to survive. Okay, so take what you will with that information. So while that's happening, the rest of the Varia obviously are there, and funnily enough, even Belgafor is there watching, and he's mocking Gokudera, saying, you know, the prince woke up with a ring around his neck and everything. Like, bro, when I say Belgafor is petty, he is petty. But funny thing is, Zanzas came. He came and went to go observe, and he too is mocking them, calling them, you know, pathetic dogs, should just die, should just disappear and everything. He's telling Squallow, get rid of these worms for me, and then he walks back. Not only is Zanzas there, but even Dino came, as well as Kyoya, right? Hibari. So he managed to convince Hibari to come because since everything started, this was the first time he's hearing about the scramble battles, okay? Because even though he made the appearance at the end of Gokudera's match, you can just say he didn't know anything until probably the night before, okay? And so he's here and he's overlooking everything. He's looking how this match is going to go, who's going to win, should he go and kill everybody for what they're doing in the school. Like, Dino convinced this man to, like, you know, come out your house. We're not doing no training. There's fights at the school, so you should just come over just to watch, but don't do anything. Don't do anything yet. Which, I have to applaud Dino for that, because, like, how were you able to convince Hibari of all people? This dude does not want to be around anybody, but for the sake of the school, he's going to be here. So, on top of that, Mist starts to form while he's outside, because he's outside sitting on a water tank on the rooftop, and 3 figures come out of nowhere. Mist is surrounding the entire arena, and they're saying that Yamamoto must win. He has to get his place, and now this follows in where they all decide to do like their little group huddle to encourage each other, including Basil, to encourage Yamamoto before he goes into his fight. Even before that, we have where even Reborn is saying that, you know, with 1 win and 3 losses that followed by the 3 mysterious figures, and saying that, you know, Yamamoto must win. Reborn follows up by with saying the same thing, like, this battle determines whether we win or lose in the long run. If Yamamoto loses this battle, it's GG for Suna and the rest of the crew. So this battle is most critical for Suna's group. They have to win. At least if they win, they have 2 wins, 3 losses, because it'll encourage them to at least tie it by the next match that follows through. So this battle is really hanging by the ropes on Yamamoto's part, okay? So they do their little group cheer, and then they all leave because they're going to be outside watching on a big screen, or is projecting onto the wall, to see how the match is going. And the doors and everything is locked, and Yamamoto and Squallow are in the building, okay? So while they're in there, the Cervello saying that, okay, now the match between Yamamoto and Squallow for the Ring of Rain has now commenced, and now they start. So we have where obviously Squallow goes on the offense and he's trying to attack Yamamoto. Yamamoto is ducking and everything. Mind you, the Yamamoto that Squallow is facing is obviously different from the week prior when he first came to Japan chasing after Basil. Yamamoto could not withstand or even try to defend himself against Squallow's onslaughts. But surprisingly, in this match, as soon as it started, he's dodging even with Squallow. getting behind it, because during his training with his dad, he did have like a projection screen playing out to see the moves of Squalo from what he last remembered during their first fight when he came a week ago from Italy, and it did help. Okay, and on top of that, his athleticism and his father training him also made him a lot more equipped for the fight. Okay, so he's dodging and everything, and he's getting around Squallow's attack, even when Squallow is using his sword to try to chop Yamamoto into little bullets of gunpowder that he used the first time. He's using it again, and Yamamoto is holding his own so far. So you would have thought, okay, by the time he hits Yamamoto, he tries to use the same gunpowder on him again, but at close range, and you would have thought, okay, there's no way for Yamamoto to evade that. A big puff of air and water surrounds both of them, and Yamamoto used his first technique, his offensive technique of the Shigure Soin style, and it's the 7th defensive form called Spring Rain. Okay, and that's how the chapter ended off. Okay, so we saw the first form because, as they stated in the last chapter, Shigure Soin, his father, stated that the Shigure Soin has 8 forms. And I believe a few of them are defensive and a few of them are offensive, okay? And they've been passed down through various users. And Yamamoto demonstrated just in this chapter, by the end of the chapter, one of the 8 forms, which is the 7th defense form, Spring Rain, which they do explain a lot better in the anime, but it's basically using whatever to block the offensive attack. In this case, in scenario, since they're surrounded by water, he uses the water to whip around like a puff of, or an air of water surrounding him, and it protected him. Okay, so yeah, so far Yamamoto is looking like he's doing pretty well. Okay, he's looking like he's doing well. He's relaxed. He's not overthinking on what to do. It looks like Yamamoto is completely different than the first time he and Squallow faced up. Okay, and it's quite literally a week later. Okay, to see the difference of Yamamoto's growth, getting stronger within a week, is astonishing. Okay, so do tell me how you felt about chapter 107 of Katekyo Hitman REBORN. How do you think this fight is going to go down? If it is your first time either reading or watching this particular fight, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think this is just it? Do you think Squallow has a lot more moves, given the fact that he has defeated many people? Do you think he's going to show different skills that not even Yamamoto is quite equipped for? But at the same time, do you want to know how the other forms of the Shigure Soin style is used in battle? I would love to read your comments down below. The links are in the description box, so you guys go check that out. And I'm Kimmy-chan of Enemy Legends, and I will see you guys later. Bye!